Hi guys, so it is March 19th. I just got back from campus. It's the end of week 9. This is not the healthiest food, but we have no time to cook anything at 7 p.m. This is what I'm eating. It's a salad from Costco. I don't know what it's called, to be honest. But I'm gonna eat it. And I don't really put the whole dressing on it. I only put a little bit, enough to like get the flavor in there. But yeah, so we're gonna start just getting into this week. I did not make it to the Monday class, and I did not make it to Tuesday Zoom class. Thankfully, I feel myself slowly getting back to myself. I feel like I'm practically myself now. I don't have that weird, what is it called? Like that weird empty feeling that I sometimes, or that I was getting, that was not helping. My sleeping schedule is definitely a lot better, which is another thing that has really helped. So I've been able to be successful starting Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday morning I put the alarm, but because I realized I don't really get ready for my Zoom class, I could kind of sleep in. And I made a mistake when scheduling my alarm. Instead of saying 9:10 a.m., I said 9:10 p.m. So my mom came in at 10:30. She's like, "Yo, you didn't have class today?" I'm like, "Oh my god, yes I did." But apparently I slept in. That was more of a oopsie. That's the second time I've done that this semester with that class. And it's a bit frustrating, but at this point, I just want to finish the semester with passing grades. I know I'm gonna get a couple of A's in my other classes. It's that one Zoom class that I feel like it's not going to go well. But it is what it is. And I'm just telling myself, do what you can. Ooh, I put too much already. Oops, stop. And yeah. Classes went well. We've been learning about the Llorona in my myths class, which I'm enjoying. We're seeing modernized versions of her, like different aspects of her. There's these amazing authors that, like Sandra Cisneros, did an article on her. Hold on. Sorry about that, my mom brought something for my sister. Sandra Cisneros did like a modernized story about, not really speaking about the Llorona, but like weaving her into the story in certain aspects of it, you know? Really awesome. I've been really enjoying it. I did volunteer this week. I volunteered 4 hours. I just did research this time around. There was nothing fun, exciting. I did have a tour when I was there. That was pretty fun. I guess the major thing this week is the weather. You guys, high 90s all week. Campus does feel a little cooler when I'm there. My mom did stay with me both days that we went to campus on this week, because she's like, I literally just go home, get to eat dinner, and come back. And I'm like, it's your choice, you know, whatever you like. So she's been staying with me. And yeah, that's been my week so far. Nothing exciting, just recovering from whatever slump I got into. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm sleeping through the nights, waking up at 1 in the morning, but going back to sleep within like 30 minutes. and I just want to fix my schedule. I want to be able to sleep from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's the best schedule for me. I feel more productive in the mornings and all of that jazz. I did speak to my professors today. One of them gave me the outline of what the rest of the semester is going to look for me with her. The other one, I submitted my Loteria card, which I don't think I finished the video, so I'm just going to upload whatever I upload. And yeah. No updates on technology, no advocacy problems, none of that. So, yeah, that's it for this week, I guess. Hey guys, it's March 20th, and I didn't do this in yesterday's sit-down video because I thought my appointment was going to be for April 10th, but then I realized she sent me an email saying that she was overbooked. So this is for my ethnic studies department counselor. The usual, I thought it was going to be the usual, like, being that it was in April, it was going to be the usual looking at classes and talking about it. But being that we met today, we just went over. Apparently, I thought I was supposed to do this in the fall, or next spring, but no. So being that I'm going to graduate / finish in December, I was supposed to send in my graduation application by March 1st of this spring semester. I did not know that. I'd never received an email about that, so that was actually really surprising to me. It was never mentioned to me at all in any way, shape, or form, but she says I could still do it, although there's a $25 fee added to the already $30, which is like crazy. So it's not gonna continue increasing the longer I take. So she's like, moving forward, you could just submit it whenever you want, just don't let it pass a month or so because you do need to submit it. I think she says it's like $55 now. The usual fee is $30. So we talked about that. We talked about the other thing that I need to do, which is called the degree worksheet. The degree. Darn, I forgot what it was called. Hold on. So it's called the degree completion worksheet. Yeah, I think those are the two things I need to do. And I also need to get my classes. So what I know for a fact that I'm going to be taking is CLS 3500. And I'm pretty sure that's like the research paper class. I forget what it's called. And then I have to take a class in Focus 2, a class in Focus 4, and another elective. And I am, that semester is going to be complete. I'm doing this early because she says I have a higher chance of getting 3 of my classes online, but 3500 there's no other choice, but it will be in person, which I'm going to struggle with that class because it's writing and research and paperwork and stuff like that, and that's where unfortunately I've weakened throughout the years. But yeah, so we also have, it sounds like 16 forgiveness units where they just become automatically forgiven for like bad grades. So the few bad grades I've gotten, which unfortunately each class is like about 3 units. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. You only get about 5 class forgiven, but I think I only have like 3 classes that I failed in my university journey, and that was spring 2025. And that was because I thought I dropped them, but I didn't. Apparently, even from the beginning, you need to fill out paperwork to drop them. And then in my head, I thought I dropped them, so they gave me an F because I wasn't going to class because I thought I dropped them. But anyways, she says those are probably going to be automatically forgiven because I'm retaking them. And yeah, that was the conversation for today. Between week 5 and between week 9 and 10, just so I can keep track of it about myself as well. Okay guys, it's March 29th, and this is like the gajillion I'm trying this, like the fact that I'm almost done with my food, I'm almost done with my Starbucks. I have almost finished my grande iced sugar-free vanilla latte, and then I have my spinach wrap, which has gone cold. But I was editing and I realized I spoke about everything that I have recorded already, so this is a bad part about recording things as they're happening. So yeah, let's get into this week 10. So before we get into that, I just did want to mention quickly that I haven't heard anything about technology since March 11th, and as you guys just saw, graduation stuff is really exciting. It's happening. Haven't submitted it yet. I did email my DOR counselor in Tuesday of week 10. Haven't heard from her, so tomorrow, which is the beginning of week 11, which is also spring break, I'm gonna email her, the other person that helps her in her department. So we will see if we can get that rolling. Okay, let's see. So week 10 was actually pretty plain and simple. From week 9, I knew we weren't gonna have a Thursday evening class, but I also ended up not having a early afternoon Thursday class, so I started my spring break early. And honestly, I think that's what caused me to be a little bit procrastination vibes here. We have to do a letter to the Llorona for my pre-Columbian class, which is my evening classes on campus, and I've been procrastinating really hard. I need to finish that. I'm gonna finish that today, but I knew I had to sit down and do this video, because if I didn't, I would never do it. That's another thing that I'm struggling with, is vlogging. So yeah, I need to finish that. I did miss class on Monday again because of transportation, since the weekend before week 8, our family car has been not good. And I keep telling my family, you guys have to do some legal actions toward these people, because you take it, the first time they didn't actually fix the problem. They just made it worse, and they left a lot of things in there. They put a piece that didn't even work. And so he took it back, and then the radio stopped working. So he took that on Friday, and he literally disappeared the whole afternoon, came back, and nothing was said. This morning we went to get the coffees and stuff, and the car was doing this horrible vibration that was giving me anxiety, and so they might have to take the truck back. So that's going to be like the 4th time in like 2 weeks. So that is crazy. If he doesn't fix it, he breaks something else. So I'm like, that's not good. You guys need to find somewhere else and probably have some legal actions done here, because you're just wasting your money at this point. And the second time we took it, I don't think he charged them. So that was one good thing. But anyways, so I missed the class. I reached out to the professor, freaking out, and I explained to her the previous absences and then that one, and she said that her attendance actually didn't affect our grade. It was more toward focusing on volunteering and reading the book and doing the assignments, because it's really an all-hands course. So that was really interesting. And then, so week 10 was our oral history presentation in my history in California class, which is my early afternoon campus class. And I was ready to do it. I got in there. I did email her like freaking out that morning, and she really appreciated my communication. That's the one thing that I've done, really communicate, because sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm just making up excuses, and I feel like they're gonna think I'm crazy. But she's like, I never thought about that, you know. She's like, some students who have visual impairments get the proper training on how to do presentations, they get feedback, but I never thought about the ones that don't. And I was like, yeah. And I had one speech class like 10 years ago, and I got a B, so that should tell you that I'm really bad at presentation. And then that was with her giving me a lot of, well, actually, now that I think about it, the only tip she told me, she's like, slowly, don't do it constantly, because then you're gonna look like you're rocking back and forth, but maybe every few minutes, look to the left, slowly look to the right, and don't fidget too much. And I'm like, that's the only feedback I got. But and then I feel like a statue, you know, just standing there like blah 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 blah, you know. It's really awkward. So when I present in a group, it's easier for me, because I can like turn toward the person that's presenting, or when it's my turn, like turned toward the way that I heard their voices going toward, So that was a great conversation. And up until me sitting down and she explained to me, she's like, you're not going to be in the front of the class. We're actually going to be in a circle and you just have to speak. And I was like, oh, I think I can do that. But as I heard her like saying what we need to say and what, everyone was sharing, I feel like I did mine all wrong. And then I was just second guessing myself. And then I heard other people like, oh, that's kind of like how I answered mine. But there was one part, they're like, what did you learn along the way of the process? And I'm like, the process in what, like, in just speaking with them, like what I learned from them, because that's how a few of the other ones were answering, and some of them I didn't even know if they answered it, so I was completely confused on that question. But she said that she looked at mine and it was great, but she did notice how much anxiety I was having. She's like, you went pale, I saw that you were shaking a little bit, I don't want you to stress out too much, this is supposed to be fun, and you submitted that written portion, it's great. If you don't want to present, then it's fine. And I decided not to, and that's why she gave me Thursday off. I already knew from the week before that Thursday evening class was also going to be canceled. And so when she gave me the option of coming to class or not, I said, you know what, I'm not. If I don't need to be here, she's like, no, you're just going to be sitting down because everyone else is going to present and get into the rest of the group. And I was like, okay. So her class after spring break is, she's actually also giving us 2 weeks, but she's only giving us 2 weeks because she wants us to work on the, what is it called? Oral history paper, which is due 6, 7, 8, on the 9th, April 9th. And we're returning back to her class on April 14th. So I'm going to go there and ask her, I'm like, the rest of your class is just going to be group work. Can I stay home and just do my portion? Maybe I can submit it early and finish your course early, because I think that's what she said, I could finish it early. And if she says yes, then I'm gonna crack down on that and just submit it early so I can finish her class early and not have to worry about that class. And yeah, hopefully she'll give me the rest of the semester at home. She's very flexible. She, she learned a lot, and I'm very, very glad to have been part of that journey for her. And we watched the movie La Llorona in my pre-Columbian Myth class. That's such a hard movie to watch, especially because she skipped a lot of the dialogue. And either the dialogue was in Spanish or it was in the native tongue of the indigenous people there in Guatemala, I believe it was. It was based on a true story, and the idea of the movie seems really interesting, but it was impossible for me to follow because a lot of the things she showed did not have dialogue, so that was really hard to watch, and I was just sitting there the whole class. And then what else? That's pretty much it. Oh, I went to volunteering. It was a quiet day of just research that day. We started on Florida. No, we started on Washington. I finished Florida. So I've done California, Florida, and now Washington. Washington is a more harder state because a lot of their things are interconnected and they don't have actual locations. They'll meet on random locations, mostly like churches and stuff like that. So that was kind of hard to put together. So yeah, that was that. I think we're gonna leave it here, you guys, for week 9 and 10, and that just means we have about 5 more weeks after spring break, which professors are counting as week 11. So yeah, I'm gonna make it into a self-study week. I'm not gonna let these days go to waste. I'm gonna try to catch up with some of my reading. I'm gonna try to start on the major projects. I have to finish my oral history paper, which I have a very, very rough draft on it. It's just, again, I've been procrastinating because I'm like, oh, it's pretty easy. I kind of done one before. I can just knock it out. But I'm gonna use one of her books that she has in her Canvas shelf, and then I just need to look for one more other, and those are my sources because we only need 3. So the third one is our Into UE. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Thank you guys for watching.